Hello, folks. Welcome back to The Slice. Nick Kyrgios is about to have a second breakout. We obviously already know who he is, but he's about to take his game to the next level. And I'm about to tell you why right here on The Slice. So Nick Kyrgios is obviously a household name in the world of tennis now. He's known for his unbelievable talent, his big serve, and his big ground game, but he's also known for being kind of a spaz on court, getting into it with fans, hilariously, lots of the time, other players and umpires, especially.
Are you okay? Are you okay? Mate, there is music playing in the crowd while we are playing.
So he's known for all these things, and he's known for being a rising star. And he broke onto the scene in 2014 when he took out Rafael Nadal in the 4th round of Wimbledon. So obviously taking out a champion like Nadal at a major is a huge thing, and that really put him on the map for tennis fans, thinking that he was going to be one of the next greats. And the next year he did really well at the Australian Open in 2015, and then Australian fans were going nuts. They're like, this is our guy. He's going to be the future for us. And while he's become a consistent top 30 player, top 20 player now, his consistency has been nowhere to be found since 2014, 2015. 2017 so far, or the 4 majors that already happened, were his worst results for the year since 2015. So he's gotten worse in the big matches, which doesn't really make sense. Well, he has been able to elevate his game to win 3 titles and beat all of the big players on tour. He hasn't been able to be consistent enough right now to get into the top 10 or just start maybe winning majors. That's something we've seen with other young guys like Alexander Zverev as well. They haven't been able to break through in majors lately, and it kind of makes sense because we are playing through or coming out of one of the toughest times in men's tennis history to be successful, with the giants of the game like Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic pretty much dominating the majors, and Murray's kind of scraggling in around there. But Kyrgios has had a tough time, and I think that we put too much pressure on him to be a complete professional. And he talks about this. He says, I am not the professional that tennis needs me to be. I don't have it together. My coach should go work with better people. It just seems like he's going through a crisis trying to figure out tennis and life, work-life balance, which makes sense. He's 22 years old. I don't understand why the media thinks that this 22-year-old who plays tennis for a profession is going to have his life together when basically no other 22-year-old has their life together like that in the world. They're all finishing their undergrad degree and just partying, and they still don't know what they're going to do with their life. They're just racking up debt. But we expect this professional athlete who hasn't had to do anything other than play tennis, make tons of money, and try to keep it together to just have it all set, which doesn't make any sense. So I think that we got to be way easier on him, or we just got to sit back and kind of watch him figure it out, because I do think he is figuring out how to stay more mentally focused tournament to tournament and have more consistent results. Because he said that he's had a lot of anger towards tennis because it's taken him away from the more important things in life, like spending time with his grandparents before they passed away. And when you hear a guy talk like this, you're like, oh yeah, maybe we should rethink the priorities of why we criticize people like that in real life. Federer didn't win his first major until he was almost 22. So Nick Kyrgios really isn't behind the times in any shape or form as far as being successful in his career, because he's only 22. Like I said, the reason he's going to break out from here on again, I think, is because he is figuring out how to, even though it doesn't look like it right now, he's figuring out how to settle in and accept his life as a professional athlete and just a regular person, like he says he likes to be when he's home. So he started a foundation in Australia where they've built an academy for a tennis gym or academy for underprivileged kids to be able to get into sport and start to play. And I think from what he said about it, it has been an amazing thing for him because he finds joy in that, and he sees the benefits of his winnings and his efforts on the tennis courts paying off in areas that aren't just affecting him. So I think that as he finds ways that tennis is going to go outside of the court and just affect the things that he really cares about more, which tennis is not his first love. He says that. He's really good at it, and he likes it, and he's obviously super competitive, but he cares more about other things in life. And as he figures out how to figure this all out and just, become more of a professional, his insane game and his talent are going to take him to that next level. And I think that progression from being an immature kind of inconsistent player is going to change in the next year. And I think that he's going to solidify his game. So the media needs to stop being that controlling parent who just is always on their kids for not performing perfectly and not having it all figured out and putting way too much pressure on them. We just got to sit back and appreciate his talent, kind of don't hold him to his faults because we all have them, and watch as he steps up. I think he's going to be easily one of the best players for the next decade, and he's going to win majors, and the fire that he has under his feet, the competitive spirit that he has is going to propel him into being one of the greats of this generation, I think. So let's just sit back and watch this man do his thing, because he isn't going to mold to what we want him to be. He's his own person, just like Johnny Mac was in the past, and just like the Slice is in the media world. So let's just watch and see what Nick Kyrgios is going to do with his game in the next few years. Folks, thanks for watching. If you like tennis and you like being cool, subscribe and go to theslicetennis.com for all your tennis needs.